Here at KBB, we've spent a lot of time in the Blazer EV, and spoiler alert, we like it. Click up here if you want to check out the full review. But today we're here to check out what Chevy's been promising since 2022, the SS variant. To get you up to speed, the Blazer EV SS is the performance-oriented version of Chevy's Blazer EV. It rides on GM's EV battery platform, their modular skateboard-style battery pack that propels the Hummer EV, Cadillac Lyriq, and Chevy Silverado EV. It's taken some time, and yes, you heard me right, 3 years to get the SS ready for its debut, but in that time they've scraped an additional 58 horsepower out of their promised figures, so we'll cut them a little bit of slack. The Blazer EV has a stout and athletic appearance even in its most entry-level form, but I do love when the sporty version of a vehicle adds some distinction. I know it's hard to tell because we have the black vehicle, but the front fascia is blacked out even more than the RS trim. And if you look closely, 50% additional fake venting. Nice. The black styling traces to the roofline and A-pillars where you get this two-tone paint standard, something they'll upcharge you for on all other trim levels. 22-inch wheels are also standard, and they're only offered on the SS. I'm also really digging this exclusive paint color, habanero orange. You don't really see a lot of orange these days, and I commend Chevy for exploring the color spectrum. Inside, Chevy uses suede microfiber seats, which look and feel great, available in a red-black combo or a light gray with orange stitching. Both look nice, and I appreciate the addition of a lighter color option for warmer climates. Speaking of warm climates, ventilated seats come standard but only up front. But don't worry, the whole family gets a heated tush in the SS. Chevy claims a 0 to 60 time of 3.4 seconds with wide open watts or WOW mode enabled. Let's turn that on and see what that feels like. 3, 2, 1. And 60. That's not bad. For a midsize SUV, it gets moving for sure. It does something really interesting though, in that 0 to 5 miles an hour is actually quite nice ramp into power. So you don't get that initial throw back into your seat that maybe you're used to in other EVs, but I actually kind of like that because it doesn't feel as nauseating. The other thing is that the WOW mode, as gimmicky as that name sounds, once you have enabled it, it is on for the rest of the drive. It's not like one of those systems where you get max power for 20 seconds. Now, I kind of wish you could just turn on sport mode and get all 615 horsepower, but that is only enabled once you hit WOW mode. So, kind of wish it was just on by default, but it's not as easy to market that, I guess. As I mentioned, we've already spent quite a bit of time in the Blazer EV, so I'll try not to bore you with details we've already covered, but I will reiterate that the Blazer EV drives exceptionally well. It's quiet and subdued, and lacking a gas engine, even on these 22-inch wheels, the road noise is almost non-existent. And if range is a concern, you're not sacrificing a ton here getting the all-wheel drive performance variant, as the long-range rear-wheel drive only gets about 30 miles more. Coming up to a stop here, let's see how the one pedal can come to a complete stop. That's pretty buttery smooth if you ask me. A lot of systems will kind of hesitate at the end there and you can feel the friction brakes sort of grab. Here, it's a really nice transition between that regen and the friction brakes grabbing. As I've been driving, I've had it in one pedal drive on their high setting. That's what I'm comfortable using, but they still do have this little paddle on the back of the steering wheel that you can pull to get in a little bit additional deceleration. I'm not so sure that this is necessary personally, but to each their own. On the high setting, it does give you just maybe 10-15% more, but it is an on-off switch. It's not a gradual paddle like we've seen in some other GM products. I'm also really appreciating Chevy's HUD here. You can really see all of the details of navigation, speed, any sort of driver assistance stuff popping up, even the time, and it's all laid out really nicely. I know you probably can't see it through the windshield, but it looks a lot better than some of the other vehicles I've driven. I really like these hotkeys along the top. They allow you to kind of access all of the pertinent information you need and easy drive settings to change. Speaking of which, let's go over some of the drive modes. Right now I have it in normal. That's going to be your everyday day getting around town, and then you can crank it up into sport mode and the steering becomes a little bit stiffer. What I'm interested though is in Z mode, which allows you to kind of customize all aspects of the car, including your steering feel, braking feel, and motor sound, which we'll get to that in a second. In here, you can also find the competitive mode, which is going to give you sort of like a track setup. That allows you to kind of turn off traction control and give you a little bit more playfulness. So in normal mode, as you accelerate, you do get a little bit of that motor noise cranked in. Let's see what sport sounds like. It's not super offensive. I don't know that I would use these personally, and you could probably have a little bit of fun with it, but I don't know. The EV noise situation, I don't know if I'm about it. Overall, the Blazer EV SS impressed me. Some EVs are hard to drive smoothly, and this one is not. In normal mode, there's a nice ramp into power, and transferring to regen doesn't add an abrupt shock to the passengers. I can confirm that Chevy has spent a considerable amount of time tuning this system, and it pays off here. I can also confirm that the Blazer EV still does not come with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's right, Chevy, we're not gonna let you off the hook there. But in more positive news, if you're looking for Chevy's excellent Super Cruise, that comes standard on the SS. And that's kind of a big deal because with the RS and LT trims, this is a $3,255 option. And what's more, it also requires a driver convenience and confidence package, which adds features like a heads-up display, rear camera mirror, and heated wipers, something that, you guessed it, also comes standard on the SS. So for those of you doing the math, all three of you, that makes the all-wheel drive RS $59,945. So to me, the SS is starting to look like a pretty good deal. The SS starts at $61,995, including destination, so just $2,000 more than a comparably equipped RS. That small premium in price would make a lot of sense if we were talking about just an appearance package, but this is not just an appearance package. .615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque is no joke. Even towing a 102 kilowatt-hour battery around, it's still more than enough to get it moving. Tracking a family SUV is an absurd thing to do, and apparently Chevy thought so too, as we only got 2 short laps in. But I did get a chance to see how the Blazer EV SS handled when it's pushed. As expected, you'll experience a ton of understeer, but I like that it took a bit before it got you there. Bear in mind, we were also on the optional summer tires, so your mileage may vary with standard all seasons. Chevy tells us that the SS is more than just a power boost, with trim-specific stiffer sway bars and a faster steering ratio. Long story short, if you want to have some fun in your SS, you'll have the tools to do so. I also got to experience firsthand how Chevy handles an emergency, or I guess a presumed emergency. After a quick 0 to 60 pull and some elevation change, we managed to set off the emergency braking and get ratted out by OnStar. And that's 60 already. Ooh, strong brakes.
Now do you require police, fire, ambulance? No, we do not. We're on a closed
It's good to know the system works, but it might be worth having Chevy disable that system in competitive mode. That's all I'm saying. The Chevy Blazer EV SS competes with other EV SUVs like the Ford Mach-E GT, Hyundai Ioniq 5N, Kia EV6 GT, and the upcoming updated Model Y Performance. Some of these are a bit quicker, but the Blazer is cheaper than all but the Ford. If you're ready to trade in your ride for something a bit quicker, go on kbb.com and get a fair purchase price. Click the link above for more details. If you're interested in a Blazer EV SS, well, you're in luck because they're sitting on dealer lots as we speak. So there you go. Chevy builds on its Blazer EV with its latest performance offering, which adds more power and standard features at a competitive price. So I guess better late than never, right?